Hello. Once again, we are going to be running a deck for you with some gameplay and commentary. And today we will be talking about a Amethyst Steel Control deck. And notably, with the addition of Tinkerbell, it's pretty sweet in order to kind of slow down your opponents. So let's see, what does this deck include? Let's filter out just for the Amethyst and Steel cards. Amethyst, we have the Magic Broom and the Mickey combo, always great for value. We have 4 copies of the Magic Mirror. I know it's a controversial card, but it's so useful in control, as well as 4 copies of White Rabbit's Pocket Watch, another MVP in this deck. Then we have Elsa for more control, Friends on the Other Side for value and card draw, 4 copies of Maleficent for card draw, as well as singing Friends on the Other Side. Wardrobe, specifically for you could do turn 3 Pocket Watch, turn 4 Wardrobe, and directly attack into something. It's the poor man's version of Rafiki, but we don't need Rafiki or Zeus or any of the rush cards in this deck. And plus, they're non-inkable, so we're gonna go with some of the nicer inkable cards. And then we have 4 copies of Jafar. Now let's see if we can find Jafar. Just nice 5 damage. And then we already talked about Mickey. In the steel suite, we have 4 copies of Fire the Cannons and 4 copies of Captain Herc, which is pretty basic for most steel for removal. 4 copies of the small Tinkerbell, the 3-cost Tinkerbell, if I can find it. Here it is. Just to shift into the 6 ink Tinkerbell. Then we have 4 copies of Cerberus and then 4 copies of Simba. So the Simba there is really for those evasives, genie cards, or in Ruby Red to deal with those evasive cards. And then 4 copies of Cerberus for just another big dude for control. So that's it. And let's run this deck. Hopefully I can run it a little bit faster because control decks tend to be pretty slow. This is also the only deck that I really ran the risk of decking myself out because you just kind of try to draw a lot of cards, answer your opponent's board state, and then eventually you just overvalue your opponent with any control deck setup. Right. Well, hopefully we get some quick games so I won't have to edit out the wait screen, but yeah, sometimes there's just not too many players on Pixelborn. Um the I had also considered whatever that I think it's called Ponder or something. That Amethyst 1 ink that allows you to return an opponent's 2 ink or less card back to their hand. But right now I'm not running it. It feels a little bit slow and not super valuable right now. But cool. Let's see. So we didn't get any of our tinks. And we did get a White Rock Rabbit's Pocket Watch. I think the only card I will keep in this hand is that Pocket Watch. We don't really care about any of the other cards here. Okay, we got a small Tink, and we got 2 big ones. Awesome. That really helps with board control. So we pretty much want to aim for turn 3 White Rabbit's Pocket Watch. Mickey is a safe inkable card. Um, or we could try to go for turn 3 Tinkerbell into turn 4 Big Tinkerbell, depending on what opponent played. So opponents in Ember, and they seem to have a Stitch deck. So sometimes I've run into fake Stitch decks where they're running that 7-cost Stitch in a control set up Amber Steel. But if we'll take a look. If it's not Amber Steel, we're pretty safe to assume that it's a legit Stitch deck. Typically, I'd like to save Fire the Cannons a little bit later, especially if I don't have any turn 2 plays, but I do have a turn 2 play. So I think we are going to ink the Mickey and just fire the cannons away, do a Stitch, and see what opponent is playing. So turn 2, we need to decide what we're inking, either the small Tinkerbell or Elsa. We always want to keep the pocket watch. Okay, I missed what they inked, but so I think we are in a good position to not need a turn 4 Tinkerbell. So I think we're just gonna ink the small Tinkerbell and pass the oh nope, and play the magic mirror since it's uninkable. Has to be played sooner than later, and I don't want to waste any ink if possible. So checking out, trying to figure out what the opponent's second color is. Okay, so they are running a legit Stitch Rockstar deck. So the Tinkerbells are gonna come in real handy. Mini, okay, another lantern. Sets them up for next turn. Okay. So we don't necessarily want Elsa, especially against Stitch. Most of their characters come into play tapped anyways, so we're just gonna ink that, and we play out the pocket watch? Sure. Why not? We will play out the pocket watch and pass the turn. Opponents one ink or sorry, one lore characters aren't as threatening, and I don't feel like I need to card draw and try to find any answers at the moment right now. So, is opponent going to play out ink a card, tap 2 lanterns, and play out the Stitch? They had one that they inked. Can't imagine otherwise why they would ink that Stitch. Unless they have like a full hand of uninkable cards. They just in time a Mickey. It's not too much value. And they play a mini. And they ran out of cards in their hand. Interesting. Well, I mean, not super threatening right now, so I'm just gonna play out a Maleficent, see if we can get an inkable card. Hook is good. I can sing with friends on the other side next turn, play a Fire the Cannons. The question is, do I want to ink something? I want to keep all of my Tinkerbells. I can ink friends on the other side, but I can sing it next turn, so that's so much value, so I'll pass. They will get some quests in, but and realistically, with this deck, as long as opponent is less than 10 lore by the time you're at like 5 or 6 ink, you're doing really well. So you have a little bit of wiggle room to give your opponent some time to quest. 5. That's your turn. Cool. So this is an inkable card. We're gonna sing friends on the other side regardless. Don't really need the Mickey. So I think what we're gonna do is play out a wardrobe, give it rush, and take out one of their minis, and pass the turn. So next turn, we have a bunch of options. Like we can sing friends on the other side. We can play out a Captain Hook. or we can cannon and play out a Captain Hook. Yep. So the fire the cannons onto the Maleficent seems really tempting. They're digging. What are they digging for? A stitch. Oh, it just returns a card from the discard pile. Okay. So we're probably going to fire the cannons under Maleficent. Hmm, don't know. We might fire the cannons and take out their Mickey. Unless they don't quest with them. Which is also we're really happy about if they don't. Okay. Nice. So in that case, what we're worried about is if they do draw into a stitch, it's gonna take a lot of resources to kill. So let's just fire the cannons under stitch. Get rid of that. We got friends on the other side. Same with Maleficent. We don't need a pocket watch. And we're going to run. We're gonna play out an Elsa. And we're gonna run our wardrobe into their mini. So that way we have set up an Elsa, which is sometimes very difficult to set up. And we'll pass. So next turn we can just Tinkerbell, or we can Captain Hook and figure out a way to kill their board. And can also get 2 additional damage in with the Maleficent. So that should be a pretty easy challenge. Maleficent into the Maleficent. Yeah, they got nothing. Um, so we're just gonna challenge Maleficent into Maleficent. Ink a wardrobe that we don't really need. Um, draw a card since opponent isn't threatening at all. And might as well use up my ink. Do a fire the cannons on the Mickey and pass the turn. That way, I can just play Captain Herc and fire the cannons again under Mickey. We want to keep on inking and drawing cards if possible. And we always reserve the ability to Tinkerbell and do some damage. For example, Tinkerbell, tap an opponent's character, do kill it with Tinkerbell and do 2 damage is a great play too. Okay, so I'll just showcase that exact same play, that exact play that I talked about. So we don't really need a Maleficent for the card draw now. We're just gonna tap the Stitch. We're gonna play out the Tinkerbell. And then we will give that rush and kill their Stitch and do 2 damage to Mickey. And we get to save our Maleficent as well. Yeah, that another showcase of why Tinkerbell is so good. Guess we'll sing friends on the other side. Ink a pocket watch. Play out a Captain Hook. Grab a fire the cannons back. And magic mirror and pass and quest. We want to not quest with the Elsa in case we run into a Rafiki or something like that. We want to try to make it as hard as possible for them to remove the Elsa, and we got plenty of time with this deck. There's not much opponent can do here. Just gonna play out creatures. We're pretty far ahead, so I'm not gonna worry too much about things. We will ink a Tinkerbell and fire the cannons away their Pascal. And then we'll quest with everything except for the Elsa. Yep. See, like if I had quested with my Elsa, it would have ran the Rafiki into the Elsa. So now I still have my Elsa. I'll draw a card. Let's see if we can get into a two lore characters. Nope. So we'll just play our wardrobe. We'll play out a magic room. You will return. I mean, at this point, anything is fine. We'll return a friend on the other side. Want to continue inking. I don't think opponent can catch up, but don't want to be too loose with our plays. Yeah, a Stitch deck without a Stitch Fuel is not going to do really well regardless. Goofy. I mean, we can just probably quest with everything if the game will let me. Play out more cards and pass the turn. Yep. So, I mean, in general, a control type deck does pretty well against Stitch, I think. Just because you can try to like delay Stitch as much as you can, and then eventually they'll just run out of fuel if you can prevent them from like going off with their Stitch cards. But yeah, I think one of the more challenging matchups with this is still against Genie. Though the Tinkerbell has really helped out a lot there. Yeah, it's not gonna cut it. We'll return that back to hand, and yeah, let's see if we can get one more game in against a different player. We're still about halfway through the list of revealed cards in Lorcana, the first chapter. Um, Definitely Ruby and Emerald uh, has seen the fewest cards released. So I think the meta is probably going to change significantly once we boost up Ruby and Emerald's power level. Though Emerald is already pretty strong with the review of Genie. Awesome. See what sort of deck we're up against. So once again, we don't have Pocket Watch or the Tinks. So I will just keep the card draw card friends on the other side and mulligan away everything else. So we do end up getting the Pocket Watch, which is great. And Elsa. So what I'm thinking is turn 2, Magic Mirror, turn 3, Pocket Watch, into turn 4, Wardrobe, kill. And we have a turn 1 play, which is great. So we will ink we have too many 3 drops. So we'll ink the Maleficent. We really don't need Maleficent. And we will fire the cannons, take out the tibs, and pass the turn. We're probably going to be playing some sort of nope, red-green. Interesting. So Aladdin shift, huh? Okay. So let's see. We want to play the Pocket Watch. keep some friends on the other side here. Do we really need two friends on the other side? That's the good question. Don't it's yeah, I don't think we need the two wardrobes. So we'll ink a wardrobe and play a magic mirror and pass the turn. So next turn we'll ink something, play the pocket watch, and go from there. Cheshire Cat. Okay, pocket watch is pretty nice against that. We will ink a Cerberus, and we will play out the pocket watch and pass. So now we can at least play out the wardrobe, take out the Aladdin. They're probably not going to quest with the Aladdin. I guess trading the wardrobe into a Cheshire Cat isn't the worst thing in the world. Yeah. Well, that telegraphs that they do have 7. So on turn 5, they're probably going to shift into Aladdin for some value there. We're going to ink Maleficent and play out the wardrobe, and we might as well kill it. Kill the Cheshire Cat and pass the turn. So once again, we're gonna try to see if we can hold off the opponent from getting to 10 or more lore by ink 6. Yeah, it's really tough generally for them to quest. Okay. So nothing super good. So we're probably gonna friends on the other side. See if we get anything. I mean, the Simba's good. We're definitely not gonna ink that. We're gonna ink a friends on the other side and play out a bruise. Let's see. What do we want to return? We could return one of their cards. Or we can return our friend. We don't really need any of our cards, so we're probably just going to return your Tibbs, dilute your deck a little bit, and pass. Yeah, so let's see if they shift out the Aladdin. Nope, they're playing a Mulan. Interesting. Okay, well, guess we hardcast another friends on the other side. We don't need another friends on the other side at this point. We will cast out the Elsa and pass the turn. Let's see. Our Jafar can take out the Mulan if it quests. Okay, they Dragonfire the Elsa. That's totally fine. I wonder if they quest with the Mulan. Okay, they do. So we're just gonna use Jafar to take out. Um, hmm, don't want another Simba, so we'll just ink the other Simba. We'll play out a Jafar. Pocket watch that and take out the Mulan. Good trade. And then do we want to keep fire to cannons? Yeah, we'll just keep that in hand. That's another reason why I think Magic Mirror is just better than Beast Mirror. It gives you so much more flexibility in terms of just I can draw a card whenever I want rather than having to run out all of my cards. Jumba Jakuba. Ooh, okay, that's a bit annoying too. Let's see. So we will fire the cannons, Donald. Um, do we play out or do we draw a card? We want to really try to ink. We're gonna. Oh, that's good. And we'll pass the turn. Not something we want to ink. So we'll just grab the card draw, let them go up a few lore, but they are not super high on lore right now, so perfectly okay with playing out the Tinker. Interesting. Okay. That changes things. So what I'm thinking is if I play out the Tinkerbell and run it into the Jumbo Jakuya and do 2 damage to the beast. I still can't kill the beast. But what I can do is they don't really have that many evasive cards. I think at this point I can safely ink a Simba, play out the Captain Hook, get our fire the cannons back. They will be able to quest for quite a few points next turn, but that way we have a really good next turn. So essentially what our idea here is if they quest for 12 go up to 12 with both Jumbo and Beast, we can fire the cannons of Beast, run into Jumbo Jacoya with our Tinkerbell and kill off their Beast. And that's just a lot of value. Okay. That is a lot of lore that they got. So we will run out the Tinkerbell. Give it Rush. So now I'm wondering if I want to kill off the Aladdin. Yeah, I'm probably gonna run this into the Jumba. It doesn't really matter if I run into Beast or the Jumba. Deal 2 damage to Aladdin. Fire the cannons under Aladdin. And then we can kill the Beast with Captain Turk. Yeah, that's a great turn. Okay. Even better than expected. And then we will ink a Mickey and quest with brooms. And pass a turn. Let's see. Now I just need Elsa and try to figure out ways to prevent them from getting. Speaking of which, there's the Elsa. So we will play out. Um, we'll play out the Elsa and the Magic Mirror and ink a Maleficent and quest with everything. All right. Let's see what opponent can do. The fact that they inked the Mickey is concerning. Okay, Iago is not gonna cut it. Um, let's draw. Another Elsa's good. What we can do is play out the Elsa. Give that rush. Tap down their Iago. Kill their Iago with brooms and Elsa. Quest with Tink, and then ink a Tinkerbell and pass the turn. Eventually, we'll be able to start drawing 2 cards each turn. Some of the cards that I really want to grab is okay, Dragonfire. That's fine. I would have been more concerned with the Dragonfire on an Elsa rather than Tinkerbell. Yeah, at this point we can just draw 2 cards. Don't need the pocket watch. We'll play out the Mickey. Tap down their Tibbs. Attack their Tibbs with the magic brooms in order to return the brooms to my hand. And then we'll continue to quest. I mean, they could run the Rafikis into my Elsa, but I don't even know. They don't have a Rafiki. They just have Aladdin's. Well, Aladdin's I guess is annoying because I can't target them. We want to grab back our Tink. Do we even have a Tink? Yes, we have a Tinkerbell. Let's see if we can draw into something useful. Okay, well, none of it is pretty useful. So we will ink the Jafar. Play out that and quest. And quest and cast our turn. They can only get one lore of Aladdin, or two if they shift Aladdin onto something. But once they shift, it doesn't have ward anymore, and I can kill it off. Okay, they're gonna return something back to my hand. Genie, I can take out with my two fire to cannons. Which in fact I'm gonna do right now. Much more threatening. Hook is good. Let's see what else. Brooms is also good. We'll ink a wardrobe, and we'll probably play out a hook. No, we want to play out the Mickey. Just for the additional lore. Quest, fast. So eventually, and we still are holding up Tinkerbell. So if they play something that we can attack into, we can just Tinkerbell. Yeah, like Beast. So, and oh, I guess we still can't get rid of the Aladdin. Okay. Well, we do need to get rid of the Beast. That's good. So we play out a Mickey, attack Broom into the Beast, get our Broom back, play the two Brooms for free. We will return our Elsas back into the deck. And we'll draw, play out another Brooms for free, return another Elsa back to our deck, ink a Cerberus, and quest with Mickey. And we are threatening lethal next turn. Yep. And that's typically how a control deck works. So there you go. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. And feel free to leave comments below for any suggestions.